Hey guys, welcome to another video. Another pretty volatile week. Started with a couple of green days, couple of good days, and then turned a little bit red yesterday. I didn't do any buying the first 2 days because it was green, market was looking okay, so no real opportunities. And then when we hit that news that NVIDIA was getting absolutely smashed with money from the tariff mania from China exports. You see here, NVIDIA announced that it will take a $5.5 billion charge on China exports. AMD also announcing it's going to take a big hit. So that affected the tech and chip stocks. So as you can see here over on TradingView, AMDY down 6.5%, NVDY, even PLTY. So some good opportunities here for some of my favorite YieldMax ETFs, SMCY, PLTY, and NVDY. So that's why I was looking yesterday to try and get in there, and I did buy two SMCY at a price of $18.10, which is a very good price, and NVIDIA at $14.50, which is again a really good price considering it was trading at like $15.60 the day before. So took the opportunity, bought into those two, and I bought some Bitcoin as well at $47.55 through the ETF I get, which is the Bitcoin ETF. Simply because I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks, Bitcoin is going to start a big rally to the upside because global liquidity is coming in. So I wanted to make sure I'm not left out, and because I'm not sure that Bitcoin is ever gonna be at this price around the $83,000-$84,000 mark again, because I am pretty bullish on it. I think with all the macro factors, with the government announcing the Bitcoin reserve, global liquidity through the M2 money supply coming in, I feel like the second half of this year is going to be big for Bitcoin. So I'm very bullish on Misty, Coney, YBIT, LFGY. These are my big holdings. Now, obviously, yesterday we had Group, what was it? Group A distribution announcements. Here they are. You can see them. Tesla, actually, that was almost 100 or over 100% distribution rate, obviously because the funds are down quite a lot in terms of share price, but that was pretty good. LFGY really good at 43 cents. So those are my two top ones. You can see them here. I've got YBIT, it's not done too well, 41 cents. Tesla, 65 cents. LFGY, 43 cents. Really strong considering its share price hasn't been doing too well. As I said, very bullish on Bitcoin. And so the LFGY holdings and MicroStrategy, CleanSpark, all those types of companies are going to do really well, in my opinion, for the second half of next year, or this year, 2025. So I think it's going to do really well, LFGY, and these distributions will actually only increase. I'm thinking 50, 60, potentially even 70 cents a week when we get into the real bull rally of Bitcoin and crypto. YMAG 9 cents and PLTY 8 cents. So nothing to write home about, but not too bad considering the state of the market. My goal is 20,000 a month. I'm on 12.5 at the moment. We've still got Group B to come, which I've been adding more into with NVIDIA and PLTY as these tech stocks have been getting smashed around a little bit with the volatility and tariffs and all those kind of extra costs that they're having to take a hit on. So what I wanted to talk about was, these tech stocks, NVIDIA, PLTY, and SMCY. Is it the perfect time to buy into them? And if you're not sure, what I generally like to do is I'll just show you what works for me, is when the stocks are down, and even the Fed came out yesterday, and it wasn't all, people were thinking maybe he's going to cut rates and have some positive news, but there was nothing really good. So that even compounded to the news of the uncertainty of the market. And so NVIDIA and Palantir, all the tech stocks were kind of not doing very well. But if you're, so for me, NVDY, PLTY, SMCI, SMCY are great ETFs from YieldMax. Apart from the Bitcoin related ETFs like Misty, those are the ones that I'm generally most positive about, most bullish on for the rest of this year, even the years ahead going forward. Now, if you're not sure about what to buy, when to buy, then the simplest way I like to do it, and this might help people, is to simply go into TradingView, go to NVIDIA, go to the underlying. So if you're looking at NVIDIA, it's down at 1450. You're like, great, that seems like a good price. Let's look at the forecast and the financials. You can look at technicals and all this other sorts of information. There's loads of information on TradingView. But if you simply just want to have a quick look, go to the forecast, and on here, it'll show you what experts think of the current stock. So they'll give a price target of 166, which is the average price target, as you can see here. Now, NVIDIA is currently trading at 104.49, right? So that is pretty much the bottom of these guys' predictions. If you look down here, it's got a strong buy analyst rating. It's got, 52 votes of analysts are saying strong buy, 9 buy, 8 hold. No one, not one analyst, not one expert is saying sell. So if you compound that with what's happening in terms of tariffs, are we at a bottom, are we at a low, you can pretty much expect this to, it may go a bit lower, but it should return to that average price of around 166. So you know that the underlying stock of NVIDIA is probably going to do well in the next, 6 months to a year. And so it's probably a good ETF to invest in NVIDIA if you want both a little bit of growth and obviously your distributions coming in. So that's what I like to look at. It's a pretty simple way of looking at things, like where is it? And then obviously you can look at the chart. So this is the NVIDIA chart. Obviously it's down 6% overnight because of that news about tech and chips and extra costs that are coming in from tariffs. And then if you just look, does it have a chance of rebounding? Well, let's look at all time for NVIDIA. And so it started at $20 and then it went up rapidly. So it can move pretty fast, NVIDIA. It's not one that just, if you look at the ALTY share price over time, it's just down, and it goes up a little bit. I mean, obviously we've had a pretty hard time recently, but it didn't go up much, and they changed the way that ALTY was structured. But for me, I really like to invest in the ETFs that have a strong underlying, that actually have the potential to go up quite a bit. So for me, that's NVIDIA, that's Palantir, that's even, I'm avoiding Tesla at the moment, but I still think Tesla is at a good price. So could potentially look at that, even with all the drama that's going on. And then SMCY. Now, these are all quite volatile. NVIDIA's not as volatile as PLTY and SMCY, but it does have the potential to go up. So it started at $20, it went up to 30, 35, something like that. And then obviously it's come down more recently with everything that's going on. It's been bad over the last few months. But what this shows is that it has the potential to increase. I mean, if you look at PLTY, which I'm extremely bullish on, we'll just look at that over the last 6 months because it's a much newer fund. It started at 50 and just started rocketing up. Like Palantir is a great underlying stock. It's very volatile, so it's good for income, it's good for distributions, but it's also got a really strong fundamental underlying in terms of its company. It's just won some contracts with some governmental contracts, I think. So a very strong underlying stock that can just rise really quickly, as well as provide a good distribution. And so now, obviously, it tanked with the NASDAQ tanking and with all tech stocks and with everything tanking with the tariffs. But I really believe that when all this is done and when a deal is made with China, which will happen, ultimately it should happen, right? It can't go on forever, all this tariff stuff. It can't go on forever. So there needs to be a deal done, or something happen at the end to put an end to all this stuff, and for it to the market to be so not be so nervous about things and be so uncertain, but to get back to on a solid ground and footing and to start being stable again. And then the price will start to go up. And I think PLTY has a big chance of hitting that $90 mark again, or $94 pretty soon. So for me, $58 on PLTY is a great price. SMCY, I didn't hold SMCY until recently, and I got in at 22.50 when it started going down. And then I treat what's happening with tariffs and this whole circus of events as a huge buying opportunity, as I've spoken about in my videos before. And I really believe that this is, if you've got some money parked on the side, this is just a great time to buy into some of these ETFs that you believe in and that you think will do well. And I personally believe that SMCY, PLTY, NVDY, and my main holding, Misty, because I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, as I've spoken about before, will do very well towards the end of this year. And so for me, these are all great prices. $18 for SMCY, it's a great price. $58.66 for PLTY, NVDY, $14.55. These are great prices. And then if you want to compound that, or kind of get a bit more evidence about what other people are thinking about in terms of its stock price and its price target, then you can go on to TradingView and see what the experts are saying and see what their analysis is if it's a buy. Now, this is NVIDIA, which is obviously everyone seems to think that it's going to recover. It's going to recover to around that 166 mark, potentially 235 if you're, from a best case scenario. But then if you look at the other ones, they may not be so strong in terms of its analyst forecasts. So we got a forecast on Palantir. This is the underlying for PLTY. You have a look, go, okay, it's currently a 92.71. So that's actually just under the average. It's not as strong as NVIDIA. So maybe you'd say analyst rating, it's neutral. It's not a strong buy like NVIDIA was. It's got 4 analysts saying strong buy, 3 at buy, 16 at hold, and 4 at strong sell. So you may say, if you're more conservative minded, you may think NVIDIA is the best buy here. You're pretty much sure thing that it's going to go up, whereas Palantir is more volatile, which is better for income, for YieldMax, for the ETF, for PLTY, but there's not so much certainty, or shall we say assurance, at least from the expert's point of view, that it's going to go up as much as NVIDIA will, probably because it is a bit more volatile. So that's the way to do it. Then you can look at SMCI. So if you're thinking about buying into SMCY, have a look at this one. You can read more about it on this, do your own research, and then just be like, forecast. It's trading at $31.89 at the moment. It has a price target of 51. So a price target of 51, that's the average price target. That's an increase of 59%. That's really strong. So for me, that's a good buy. That's why I bought it yesterday. It's at neutral with the analysts. They got 4 strong buy, 1 buy, 5 hold, and 2 sell. So still mainly buy or strong buy, but obviously you want to be looking at the price target, or at least that's what. This is just an easy way for, I think, someone. This is not financial advice, by the way. This is just a pretty simple way to look at things. If the price is bottoming out, but then you see what experts are saying, see what the forecast is for the price target of the underlying stock, and then it will give you a good idea of where you think that stock, that share price is going to end up. So that's how I like to play it. Obviously, I am very bullish. My biggest holding is Misty. So it accounts for almost 35%. These are my shares here, 4,131. And I've just been dollar cost averaging. If you look at it here, 27.49. I actually started up here. My average cost price for Misty was 34.21. And I've just been putting more money into it as much as I can as it goes down. 30.55, that's my average price for Misty. 27.45, that's my average price for Misty. Now it's down to 26.50. Actually, that's for this month. I just bought some a week ago. So now my average price for Misty is 26.29 with 4,200 shares. And for me, I'm very happy with that because my viewpoint is that global liquidity, the M2 money supply, is absolutely pumping right now. And it's only a matter of time before that gets into risk assets, which is analyzed by Colin Talks Crypto here. Follow him on Twitter. He's a really good guy to kind of follow if you believe that, global liquidity correlates very strongly to the Bitcoin price, which mathematically it seems to have an 80 to 85% correlation rate. Obviously, it's not strict science. Liquidity moves around, so it's not going to be like this 108-day, which is what he's saying. It may blast off May, which is what he's saying, or it could be in a few days. So I wouldn't be sitting around too much on it. That's why I bought some more Bitcoin. But for me, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin and Misty, and I think that Misty could even hit, it's currently at what, 20, it's trading at around the $20 mark. And I think that, let's see what it's trading at, 20.83 it closed at. And I think it's got a strong possibility of hitting the $40, $45 mark by the end of this year. So if you're getting into it now at $20, $21, then you're not only going to benefit from Misty's incredible distribution rates at what's now, it's probably giving you a distribution rate of around $1.50. But by the end of the year, in my opinion, may not happen. No one has a crystal ball, and definitely not financial advice. But I think it will hit at least $40 in share price. Like, this is because of MicroStrategy's volatility. It pumps hard when Bitcoin pumps. So it's, there is an upside cap to these YieldMax ETFs, but because it's so volatile, because of the way MicroStrategy is set up, it really doesn't struggle to rise in its share price. So for me, I think it will easily hit that $40 share price again by the end of the year. And when that happens, is you're going to go from $1.50 distributions to $2 to $3 to $4 again, which is what happened in, look, we'll see here, $4.41 was the dividend amount in November. What was it in $4.19 in October? It was around the $4 mark. $3 in December, it started tanking a little bit. So you're not only going to benefit from the increased share price of going from $21 to $40, you're going to benefit from the increased distribution amounts as well. It's going to be $3, potentially $4 by the end of the year. So I think it's such a good moment to be buying into Misty, and as well as PLTY, NVDY and SMCY. So that's my position. Obviously, not financial advice. Don't have a crystal ball. Things could change, but that's what that's what I believe, and that's what I'm buying into. And yeah, I feel pretty positive about things for the rest of this year. But let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next vid. Cheers.